Greetings, Marsh here, and welcome to episode 49 of my modded Factorio playthrough. Now that we've got all the ores sorted out, it's time to build engines and make things that the engines go into. Enjoy! So we were building all the various wall components that we needed. Turrets, cannons, walls, gates. I think we just needed cannon shells and to make engines. I'm going to wait on the cannon shells since I kind of want to use drones to deliver those shells out to wherever rather than having a long belt. So I think I'm going to wait on producing those. Also just because they're kind of weird where they require coal and we have no coal here, so actually using a drone for delivering coal might work out pretty conveniently. Or we can be lazy because there is a little bit of coal here. I don't know, maybe we can like stick a miner on there and deliver the coal that way. That might actually work. That's kind of crazy. But I'm going to wait on that a bit. Let's just work on the engines for now. So we need a multi-cylinder engine. And how many do we actually want? Because one assembly machine isn't going to make very many of them. Maybe we should match the output of single-cylinder engines. Okay, single cylinders, except we're using a better factory, so we're producing 2.5. 1.5 actually should be alright, or 10 machines worth. And this is actually really easy because it just uses steel and gears, which we're already producing elsewhere. Products go in, and then the engines will come out through the side here. And they combine into a single belt and go down that way. And these are really slow machines, so one inserter will work for all of them. Looks good. Let's do 12 of them, since 12 will look nice and even. Actually, we don't need to build it all in one slot here. Let's just copy these and move it over. So 8 and 12. Okay, now we need to get all these connected. Okay, I think that's everything. So let's look it up and see how it works. Ooh, looks like maybe we need 2 more machines here. And there we go, engines are coming out and being put on the bus. Let's put a chest here to grab some. Let's put it right here so it grabs more. And 1 stack worth. Alright, now that we've got engines done, let's see what we could build with them. Quite a few things, really. Well, there's probably a couple of straggler technologies we can clean up on the list here. Let's just kind of go through it. I'm gonna skip on that for now. But definitely we get the mining vehicle too. Hopefully just slightly faster. But we use engines for that. So I'll grab that and it'll probably be done pretty quickly. Well, it looks like it. I'll just wait for it to be done real quick. Okay. Just checking to see how fast this guy is to see if the upgraded version is any better. So, pretty slow. So we'll pick that up. And there's number 2. So it definitely mines a lot faster. Not that we're using it much for that, but... And let's see, what else? Coke purification is interesting technology. That it's something that we could use our sodium hydroxide for, that we have from electrolyzing saline water, but the problem is it creates sodium carbonate, which is just another byproduct we can't deal with. So right now I don't see the value of transforming one byproduct into another one. I do see the value if we can make it disappear and make it a closed loop system. But right now, that is not the case. So I'm going to skip on that. Ooh, we can do crawler construction robots. Let's see, before that, let's do vehicle equipment, which we need for the construction vehicle here. So it unlocks the roboport, which we can't do anything with, but the burner generator is what we'll use to power the robots with it. So we'll research that. And then that unlocks the crawler. There's a large storage construction vehicle. That's quite slow, but at least that'll be some reusable robots as opposed to the nanobots we're using now. I think that the nanobots are still going to be faster than this machine would be, but at least this one doesn't use all the nanobot packs, which do get expensive fairly quickly. There's our new mining vehicle. Oh yeah, that's definitely faster. I mean, it's still slow, but it's faster than it was. That'll help. Iron is falling behind again here. But it looks like we're just at the maximum output of the ore sorters. We could put a whole bunch more down there if we needed to, but I kind of don't want to rebuild that right now if we can avoid it. And in part, it's going so slow because we have an overload of copper, so the stereotype side isn't running. Okay, now that the crawler's done, let's research the construction robots that would go inside of it. Now, you can use these crawler robots just as construction robots for your factory, but they're quite slow and they're not very good at building things. So instead of creating a construction network and having these robots fly around your factory very slow building things, I more prefer to just drive the crawler to where construction needs to happen so the robots don't have to fly very far. And then they have these big chests to work with the logistics. And additionally, you can take it one step further and get the cargo robots as well, which they have the charging stations and logistics zone expander as well as the requester chests. So crawler robots are weird where they carry an entire stack at a time, but they go very slowly. So they're actually really powerful in the sense that they can carry an entire stack, but the speed is just hard to deal with. And I don't think we actually need the throughput of cargo robots right now if we were to use them. So I don't intend to. But it's worth researching just because it's the same technology as the other stuff. And that next upgrade will require electronics boards. So let's build a crawler. You can see lots of equipment can go in that. So there we go. It's got a nice large trunk to it. And a grid. The grid looks bigger than I remember. Interesting. But, so this is reasonably fast for what it is. So we need to power it up. It needs to have at least one burner generator and roboport. So there's the generator, and the roboport is larger. Then we'll just want to fill this up with as many roboports as we can get in there. And similar to the other style of roboports, that every roboport will expand the number of robots by 50, and also the construction area will get bigger. So you see there's the construction area with one roboport, but we put a second one in there, and it adds on top of itself. So the construction area can get very large very quickly with a bunch of these. These icons seem much larger than I remember here. Wonder if something got changed. Okay, I messed with the UI scaling a little bit. It didn't really seem to change this. I looked at my old videos, and I think this could just be how this looks because of the way that they changed the graphics of this. So it could just be that, you know, it's a little bigger than the sliders will allow, so you have to slide them. But the inventory is the same size as it was before. So you can basically fit either 3 or 4 construction roboports in here. 3 if you use the burner generator, or 4 if you're solar powered. But since we don't have any batteries right now, we probably want to stick with the burner generator. So let's make another roboport. And actually, one other thing we can add to the list is some solar panels, because we have nothing else to fit in those little slots in between. So we can put some solar panels in. Yeah, these ones don't require glass like the others do, but that's okay. I'm only going to build a few of these. And lots of vehicle equipment gets unlocked by doing that. We need some fuel for that. Oh, it turns so slow though. I don't know, I think I could walk faster at this point. Anyway, I wanted to run up here and get some charcoal to power it, since that's the most efficient fuel that we have right now. And actually, now that I think about it, there is something more efficient we can do with carbon, where we can take charcoal and add oxygen gas and get carbon out of it. The energy efficiency is the same, but the advantage is that we can essentially turn wood pellets, which is made from wood, into charcoal, into carbon. Or we can take those same pellets made from green algae, which is our byproduct, into charcoal, into carbon. And we already have all these things set up going into this silo right here. So we really only need a little bit going on right here to transfer that into the carbon silo here. I'm not exactly sure what kind of quantities we might want, but let's just put a single machine here and see what it does. 1.5. Let's do 8 machines. It's probably going to be overkill, but it will be a similar performance to the other carbon setups we have, which are producing 18 per second. I mean, I guess we could set this up to be 18 as well, if we really wanted it to be exactly the same. Hey, sure, why not? So we need 12 liquefiers for this. That belt there isn't straight. That bothers me. There we go. And the way that burner generators works is a little weird, but you right click on it, which opens up its fuel menu. And there it goes. Running like crazy, because it's filling all these up. It does consume a reasonable amount of fuel to do it. Okay, let's see if we can get this to fit in here without too much fuss. Okay, there's our repeatable pattern. 8, 12, looks like it barely fits. And luckily, oxygen is right up here. We can take it off this right there, and then go up. And then actually, we can just come straight back down. And go in right there. Looks like tin is backed up. Oh, this isn't connected. Whoops. Okay, we'll put a loader in there. We want another circuit condition. So the least desirable way is making carbon the first tier, just with steam, and then The second way, going to 4,000 here, is doing the washing. So let's up it again to 6,000. This is the most desirable way, so it needs to have the highest number, so it has the greatest priority. So what's going to happen is the charcoal is always going to come in. You see right here, this charcoal's coming in because this charcoal is from the algae washing. That always has priority and will always come through. However, if it goes below 10,000, the trees will catch up and fill it up to 10,000. And then it outputs and it goes places and fills up here. And then it will get priority, making carbon this way compared to washing, which gets priority compared to non-washing. And that is the logic, and this might require a whole bunch of oxygen, but I don't think our oxygen generators really aren't working that hard, because this is really a worst case scenario, so we have lots of oxygen output here. Let's see, let's try to make this a little cleaner. Do it like that. Like that. There we go. And since this is falling behind, this will probably run for quite some time. Yep, there it goes. Looking good. So that's a slight improvement we can do. And how is the oxygen production? Well, quite a bit of it is going. Almost all of it. More than I thought. But it wouldn't normally run this hard, and we could always expand oxygen production if we need to. So not a problem. So we've got our 3 roboports and the burner generator. And we have lots of extra room to put solar panels in there. It doesn't make too much of an impact, but the solar panels will reduce the amount of power that the burner generator uses, so why not? And it's going to be a whole bunch of them. And then in addition to all of these solar panels, we also need to fill it up with robots. I could put this on the bus, but since I'm only thinking we're going to need the construction robots just for this application, I'm fine with handcrafting them. So we'll need to handcraft 150 of those. So solar panels go in here and improve efficiency. Let's see, is this enough solar panels or do we need more? Okay, well that's the wrong spot. Okay, the rest of these panels. That's about the best we can do. So we've got 1.4 megawatts of solar panels, and then 7.5 megawatts of the burner generator. Okay, now we need 150 robots. Just requires engines and that sort of thing. While all these robots are being built, let's see what other research we can do. Paper is another interesting thing where we can use sodium hydroxide and chlorine to improve paper output, but then it creates sodium hypochlorite as a byproduct. So, and since we can't get rid of that right now, I kind of don't want to be making more byproducts. Might as well make the car too. That's just a nice fast vehicle to have. And reverse Factory 2 would be convenient. And finally, railways. We're not quite at the point of needing to make trains yet, but might as well get everything researched and ready. So locomotives, cargo wagons, regular rails, and the bridges, which is a mod that I have just to allow you to build over water, which makes building rails much easier when you have a map with a lot of water on it. Let's see, let's add some things here. like the crawler train. It's just a train version of the regular crawler, so it's a train with construction roboports on it. And the fluid wagon for moving fluids around. Yep, we'll need train stops. Rail signals so we can control the trains. And let's do the logistic train network as well. I guess we need a little bit of space there before we can research that. But that's enough stuff to research while we're waiting. This part of green science seems to be falling behind. We got these 3 machines running and then these ones aren't. And now all of these science parts are falling behind. Something like that. There we go, everything's green again. So we've got our stacks of robots built. So now we can put them in, and there we go. Probably the most convenient use of these robots is for cleaning out a whole bunch of trees. Because we have this thing we can drive around, and it's a little faster than it was before, but it's still kinda slow. So now that we have these robots, these huge areas we can take care of. And they're kinda slow, for sure. Since their travel time is so low, it's better to use them on stuff that's close to the crawler rather than far away like this. But for some bigger setups, you may not be able to fit the crawler in there, and you have to use them at long distances. Beep boop beep. I notice these machines aren't running at full blast either. It's like it needs another row of these machines up here. It's not quite full output. It seems like we're kind of limited on belt speed here. So let's max out the belt speed real fast. Seems to be as full as it's going to get. Although this belt seems a little under-spec'd. And that's it for this episode. On the next one, we're going to build some railway components and then plan on doing some oil processing. I'll see you later.